Got it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the realm. This is our weird weekly news on Wednesday. Still trying to find a catchy name for it.
Yeah, we'll have to come up with something on that. I'm not
I
sure.
mean, weird weekly news isn't bad. It's on Wednesday. It's all W's. So
but that's not original. We got to come up with something more original, but we'll figure it out as we go.
figure it out. Maybe if we get any fans, they'll help us.
Okay. Fans.
Yeah, we have a few already. I mean,
Very
but
good.
it's family, but it's okay.
Okay.
For everybody out there, I'm Gina.
I'm Rich.
And we're from the realm, and we're doing some weird weekly news Wednesdays. Every Monday we have a podcast of a single topic that we delve into. We do some research and chit chat about it. And on Wednesdays we each bring a couple of news stories to the table. The other does not know what the other is bringing.
I don't even know what I'm bringing. So, I mean, I'm going to be just as surprised as everybody else.
That's what I felt like today, because there's a recent current event that happened. And so I had to completely dive into this in the 11th hour. Or is that?
And this is for weird news.
Yeah, for weird news today.
Okay.
So I had to hurry up and prepare it before we got on here. So I did nothing to get ready. I literally went straight from working to running. I had a client for Reiki tonight, and then I had to go to the grocery store, and then came home, hurried up, did all this. It forced me to eat pizza on the run.
I had pizza too,
but it's okay. I'm gonna have some applesauce or vegetables.
I just had a cardboard pizza from upstairs, and
sounds so good though. I got a place at Casey's Pizza. If you are from Central Illinois, you know all about Casey's Pizza, and they just started putting a couple here in Southeast Wisconsin, and there's one a mile and a half from my house on 4 Mile Road, and my Lord, they have the best cheese pizza. Anyway, okay, so we're getting sidetracked here. All right, so Rich and I, like I said, we bring a couple articles to the table, and how we decide who goes first is rock, paper, scissors. I don't even know how it started, but that's what we do.
I don't even know why we do it, because I always lose.
That's true. You do. You do always. Maybe
somebody somewhere should be keeping track of how many times I
win. We'll just go back on it.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm like 0 for 3 for sure.
Maybe in the descriptions I'll put Rich loses. Yeah. So I'll probably just keep it there, because it'll be everything.
There's the weird weekly news. Rich wins.
That would be a good topic. That would be paranormal.
Yeah, well, it definitely be
abnormal,
strange, but that's okay.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Rock, paper, scissors. What'd you do?
Paper.
We're both paper.
Well, I think we all know what's coming next.
All right, here we go. Hold your hands up a little more so I can see them.
I'm trying.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Oh, shoot. See, this might be your lucky day.
I'm really setting myself up now.
Okay, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What'd you get?
Oh,
you won! Mark the calendars. Today's
that didn't take as long as I thought it was going to take.
Okay.
All right.
Which one? Okay. All that hubbub about nothing. Yep. All right. So my news story today actually took place on September 16th. I'm sorry. Actually, I'm not September. What the hell? That's paranormal. I'm trying to it did not take place on September 16th. The hearing was actually today. The congressional hearing was today. And the congressional hearing was on UFOs.
Okay.
Did you know that was happening?
No.
I did not know it was happening.
Another thing they're hiding from us, huh?
I know. So I don't know how I missed this. I don't know when this was scheduled to become a thing. But let me just get to this here. Actually, hold on a second. Let me make sure that I'm no, it was on the 16th. My bad. Okay, I just falsely reported something. because I have the 16th written here, but I have Tuesday. So actually it's the 16th, which was yesterday. This congressional hearing went through. It was the first public congressional hearing on UFOs since 1966. The US government now refers to them as UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomenon. And they are really UFOs. Hold on a second. Oh, I know what. Sorry, I'm misreading, guys. I have notes, so please forgive me. So I guess the age-old question was, are they really UFOs? Or are they foreign military aircraft or even secretive domestic military aircraft? That's the big question on everybody's minds, and the big question everybody keeps raising. Or is it really aliens? Who knows? But this was according to the Newsweek article. So throughout this report that I'm going to be giving you guys, I'm going to be going from a Newsweek article, CBS News, NPR, and BBC is where I got information for this. So we'll be putting the links to the news sites that I took this information from. Some of it is direct quotes. So I just at least wanted to cite the sources and let you guys know that this is not all my words. I'm using some of the words from these articles. I'm not that great at speaking. So during the hearing, they did play some video. I didn't watch the entire hearing yet. I did start watching it and I plan on finishing it later. I will be watching it all the way through. So, but the parts I did watch just seemed to be kind of like a lot of dancing around with words, depending on the speaker. So I just need to watch the whole thing before I give my opinion on the hearing in and of itself. So the portions that I listened to so far was at the beginning with the Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence, Scott Bray. I think he spoke second, and Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, Ronald Moultrie, I believe it's pronounced. So anyway, so the history behind like how we got to this point of having a congressional hearing on this anyway was the last like I said, last public hearings were in 1966. Gerald Ford called for these congressional hearings to take place. He wasn't president then at the time. And it was to discuss some UFO sightings that were in Michigan that were observed by like 40 people. I think there was like a dozen police officers involved, according to this one report. And so when they had the hearing, the Air Force had come out at that time and had said that it was swamp gas, and that the incident was like swamp gas.
We're
and
still
then
going with that, huh? Swamp gas and what's it, weather balloons? They're still going with that, huh?
Yeah. Oh, wait till you hear about today's. So this was back in 1966 that the Air Force said that it was swamp gas. Yep. And then, so I guess Ford at the time had challenged them and basically was kind of pissed off and was like, called them flippant. Like, you guys are just being flip about this. You're not taking it seriously. But the hearing then closed, and then shortly after that in 69, like 3 years later, there was an Air Force investigation called Project Blue Book. So I don't know if like that had been going on from the time of this first congressional hearing in 66 through 69, but in 69, it looks like Project Blue Book was closed after they determined that no UFOs had been confirmed and that there was no threat to US national security. Now, fast forward to 2017, the US media, I don't know if you remember, a few years ago, they reported that there was like some secret efforts, according to one article, on the Pentagon's behalf. There was testimony from pilots and other US military members.
I remember seeing the video. Yep.
Yeah, they reported seeing strange objects in the sky. So the report included footage of the UFOs and descriptions of how they flew in like unexpected, or the article said unexpected, but you would, think like haphazard manner with no, like, not how known aircrafts would move in the sky, right? Including hovering in place during high winds. It's like at the elevation that they were at, and also changing elevation like rapidly from one point to the next. So pilots had described seeing these things like almost on a daily basis, apparently, and like outside of the military bases. And I guess they called it a whistleblower, described the UAPs that it actually interfered with US nuclear weapons, like the facilities, even forcing some of the stuff offline. Now, I don't remember hearing about that at the time. I think that when we do our series on UFOs, we can dive deeper into these like reports and things like that. So we can bring that to you guys at another time. But then continuing on the timeline, in 2020, during the COVID bill, when that was signed by President Trump at the time, it included a provision, for whatever reason, I'll have to look into that, requiring that US intelligence agency had to deliver an unclassified report on UAPs within 180 days. So then in June of 2021, the U.S. Director of National Intelligence released a report saying that there was no explanation for dozens of unidentified flying objects related to, at that time, was 144 reported incidences dating back to 2004. There was only one of those that could easily be explained as a deflating balloon, while it says others were labeled largely inconclusive. And now this next bit of reporting is a huge chunk that I took from a news article. So again, I just want to reiterate, I'm pulling it from these sources. Apparently 80 of these UAPs were able to be detected on advanced military sensors and radar equipment. So the sightings actually were of physical objects, because that sensing equipment only senses like physical objects in the sky. So it had to have been something, right? The report at that time failed to reach any conclusive answers with regards to like what the objects were or how they function. But the report ended saying basically there needs to be better investigation. And the way they have better investigation, obviously, is by having better data collection. And the way to get to better data collection, it would be to take the stigma away from reporting. So I guess what ended up happening was, from that time, from like June to December, then I don't know if they came up with like some kind of new reporting system. Maybe we'll find that out when I finish the rest of this hearing, if there was like some kind of new reporting system, or if maybe just that report caused more people to come forward. But in December of 2021, President Biden had signed something called National Defense Authorization Act, and it was for stronger disclosure requirements on these types of situations. So the law is requiring the military to establish a permanent office on UAP research. It's also called and they've called that now the Airborne Object Identification and Management Synchronization Group. So,
wow.
I mean, it could have just been called X-Files and made a lot of us really happy, but
Wow.
it's not.
Or Space Force.
We have the Space Force, but this is like, I guess, separate but equal. Separate but equal is this organization.
Yeah, I suppose.
Just like Space Force. So since the June report, though, there's now been approximately 400 reported incidences. So incidents, God, speak.
Since when?
Since the report that came out last year in June, where they said they needed to destigmatize, right? So, and then the hearing was today. So a little less than a year, there's now 400 reported incidents. The 2021 report obviously said that there was no evidence that aliens had been found, and that objects referred to, and they kept referring to these objects in these reports, like on these 400 reports. His last name was Bray. He was with the, let me look at what he did again. Sorry. Oh, he is the Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence. So he kept making reference to these objects as unmanned, even though I didn't hear during the time that I listened to, or any of the 4 articles that I read, that of how they can say that they're unmanned. Maybe I'll get more answers when I finish watching it, but nothing in the reports that I read said how they even knew that. Like, they just kept saying it was unmanned. So how do they know? I don't.
Yeah, how do they know? How do they know it's unmanned?
I don't know. He did say that what he thinks is caused the uptick in these reports was the fact that there's more improved detection equipment. There's an increase in drone usage, and other non-military unmanned aerial systems, and also aerial clutter such as mylar balloons that are causing all these people to report these things. I I can't see that there's like 400 reports from June
Lost
last year,
balloons.
like
People lost a
increased to
balloon and they,
right.
oh my gosh.
And
What's that?
not there's like most of the reports, most of this like increase in reports from 143 to 400 were mostly military personnel. Some were, I guess, civilian people.
Yeah.
But whenever you're trying to blame it on balloons and like drones and stuff, it's like deflect.
Well, the drone thing, I guess I can see the drone thing. I mean, to a certain extent, but now
but pilots,
they're so popular now. I think anybody can tell the difference probably now, or majority of people, and like you said, pilots or military, they're gonna know what a drone is. I mean,
well, and like, but really, I don't know. I mean, I would have to look and see, like, can drones go like 30,000 feet in the air?
Mine probably can't go 10 feet and I'd crash it.
So I'm just like,
so
it doesn't account for the ones that they're seeing at these higher elevations, you know?
Yeah, I'm not so sure about 30,000 feet, but yeah, I know that you have to get FAA clearance and you have to get approval and all that stuff to even fly some of them if they're over a certain height, from what I understand. So 30,000, that seems a little high, but I mean, I'm sure the military would know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so I'm hoping we get some more answers with this. I totally want to go work for that department. So Biden, if you're listening,
there's our next field trip.
I'm ready.
Get you a job there.
I'm ready. I will come work there. So they did say that there was no attempt made at communication with these objects, and that the objects didn't seem to communicate with them. Out of all of the reports, they said they were mostly able to come up with what it was, or like have some sort of idea of what it could have been. But there was approximately maybe close to a dozen that they had no explanation for. And it was mostly because the manner by which they moved in the sky, and different things like that. Like, you know, how I discussed, like, as far as like the wind and the way that it was able to hover and stop and hover. So anyway, he had said that he did admit that more work needed to be done, and that, you know, they wanted to be transparent, and that he's as impatient as everybody else. I felt like, you know, he's doing what any intelligence director would do, and that would be deflect. I just listened to a small portion of it, so I'm not giving an opinion or judging. But then the Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, Ronald Moultrie, he did say that more needed to be done as well, and that it just requires its own space, you know, like its own department, things to be investigated in a thorough and organized fashion. So whether that means there's going to be like standardized reporting process, you know, helping, I guess, get rid of the stigma, come up with a standard reporting process, not just for military, but I mean, hopefully maybe civilians. You know, I'm hoping, you know, when I finish the hearing, I'll have more answers. I feel like if they want to remove the stigma of reporting, that they really do need to develop an agency strictly to investigate these claims. So I'm glad to hear that that's what the plan is, or that's what they're doing. And I'm wondering, like, is there going to be a national hotline or something?
Well, because I think they need to be more transparent with.
And Moultrie had said that.
That's going to open people up a little bit more, and you're going to have more, people won't be afraid to say what they have to say, or what they've seen. And as long as everybody follows through, like you said, with whatever the organization is or however they set it up, follows through, you know, maybe things will change a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. And, you know, side note, when I was a 911 dispatcher, we did get reports where people would call and think they would, you know, see UFOs in the sky.
If you had to guesstimate, just on like
probably
a when basis or not?
No. I mean, during the course that I worked there, maybe a couple times. So, and that was just on the shift that I knew about. I mean, not everybody, you know, would talk about. And then, you know, the deputies would respond. I feel like it was always out in the county as well. Like, so those of you not from Southeast Wisconsin, we refer to things as either out in the county or west of the I, because the interstate runs like straight up from Chicago to Milwaukee. And so like east of the I is everything close to Lake Michigan, west of the I is out in the county. So it's where a lot of farms and country land and stuff is. So anyway, so having said that, one day I had seen something out of the window in dispatch. I was working a day shift, and I think it was like really early in the morning because day shift started like 6. And I remember seeing like something off into the horizon, and I was like, what is that? Like, doesn't it look really weird? And I'm trying to point it out. And of course, my manager joking at the time, like though he came over and we had like this Rolodex of, like I guess like a index card holder, and he pulled out this file and went through it.
Yep.
And he literally pulled out a card. There is a UFO hotline. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So there is a 1-800 number hotline. I don't know if it's still in effect, but he did pull out the card in case I wanted to report what I was seeing. But I just thought that was kind of funny. Little side note. But yeah, I can't, it wasn't a lot of people, but if you do like Google research, people reporting to police, there are quite a few, news stories of that, of police officers, responding to these types of calls.
Sure.
So I'm just wondering, like, will this new agency that they're, putting in effect respond to, these claims? Maybe if there's like enough, will they respond to, will they send out a team, or, will you be questioned, or I don't know how it happens.
I think questioning it should be at least the very least.
Yeah. And because I'm all for it. Like,
yeah,
let's do this. But
we've said before, that it's hard to believe that there wouldn't be something else out there, whether we believe or not.
Right.
All it takes is, a little bit of proof, and then you get people believing a little bit more.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
is that the guinea pigs? Are they phoning home? Did I just hear the guinea pigs?
They're talking to me. Lenny and Lionel are our special guests tonight.
Hi, Lenny.
Apparently they know I'm sitting here because they're quite noisy tonight. I apologize.
Don't apologize. It's okay. We had dog bark.
Never know. You may see a cat at any point in time, because there's
you could hear a dog bark, because guess what? Like, we're not out to be perfect. We're just
we're coming live from my home office in Wind Point.
Raw.
So anything's gonna happen.
Raw. Raw approach to this.
But,
I guess so. In the end, from all the news articles, it seemed that there were no real answers given at the end of this hearing. And here is the kicker.
Oh, there's a kicker.
There's a kicker. So at the end of this public congressional hearing, they then ended the public portion and had a closed door meeting on the subject with everybody without the public.
So then they're already not following through.
Like I said, I can't have an opinion, but I did read that there was a closed door session on the same.
To me, that just makes it even more, I don't know what the word is, but it just makes you want to not trust them or believe them anyway. Because if they're going to go behind your back, they're going to tell you all that stuff and say they want to work with you and they want to make it less, take away the stigmatism of people not, being afraid to say something. But, oh, by the way, we're done with you. Now we're going to talk about it.
We're going to close the doors. But Moultrie did say, and he did seem believable, but he did say that they do want to be as transparent as possible, but they also need, like, the difference between transparency and secrecy is, like, we want to tell you everything. And I think the secret side of it was like kind of stated that they still need to protect the integrity and safety of those reporting, and maybe by the manner of which they collect the information. I guess I can understand that. And maybe that's what this closed door session was about, to be fair, but it was really funny to hear, like, transparency. And now we're closing the doors.
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
So
that's kind of the way I took that too. Yeah.
So my news report was extra long because normally these are only supposed to be a few minutes, guys. So the rest of the time, Rich, here's the thing you didn't know. You don't try to be asleep. Don't try to fake it. Because now the rest of the time is yours. So you can do both of your newscasts right now. I took a moment of time.
Well, mine is not as interesting. Mine's more of just a cultural thing. It's kind of cool. I mean, it's I
Hey,
mean,
listen, we're gonna talk
you know,
about anything we can find, like dogs snuggling in, like sneaking in people's houses and snuggling in bed with people who's not their owner. I don't
uh-oh.
know.
All right. Well, the one of the ones that I was looking at, that I found out there, I thought was interesting to me anyway, is that there was a woman in Texas. Um, she found an ancient Roman bust at a Goodwill. Yes,
Oh,
this is in San
that's why
Antonio.
you should go shopping at these places.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to several, and you see different things. You see antiques, you see new stuff that people buy and they just donate. Um, there's a picture of the bust here, and it looks like one of the um, what am I thinking? The statues from the Haunted Mansion, one of the white faced busts is what it looks like. I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
What
It's
is
made.
the website that you're on?
This is an Associated Press, and I am on, it says AP News is where I'm at.
Okay, woman finds Roman bust
Yep.
at Goodwill.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna pull this up so I can get a picture, and then you can finish with your news story, and then I'll show a picture.
It's a marble bust, and she purchased it for $35.
What? How much is it worth?
$35 out of her pocket. Now, I will say that throughout the article I read, it does not say what it's actually worth. She does end up donating it to um, a museum in Germany. It's
Okay.
it's part of Bavarian history. I'm gonna tell you
Okay.
right now. She finds it in Antonio. It was Antonio, Texas, San Antonio, Texas, and they're determined it's from Germany, missing since World War II. It's they believe it's from the collection of King Ludwig the First of Bavaria. So I mean, it's ancient Roman bust date from the first century or first century AD. They said that they think it depicts the son of Pompey the Great, whoever that is. I don't know. I've never heard Pompey the Great. I'm not sure who that is, but it says that it was most likely he was defeated in the Civil War by Julius Caesar. So
Huh.
Rome.
While you're talking, I'm gonna bring
I
it
was
up.
to say something happened.
While you're talking, I'm gonna show everybody.
So it's a Roman thing. But like I said, they believe that depicts the son of Pompey the Great. I don't show where they're giving him a name or anything like that. Now she ends up giving him a name, which I'll get to later. She gives him a little nickname because she has him for a little bit, and has it on display at the San Antonio Museum of Art temporarily, and then it's going to get returned to Germany next year. They say we're very pleased that a piece of Bavarian history that we thought was lost has reappeared and will soon be able to return to its rightful location. And that is Bernard Schreiber, president of the Bavarian Administration of State-owned Palaces, Gardens, and Lakes.
Very cool. What a cool find.
Yeah, I mean, what are the odds? I mean, you always hear about people going and buying a couch and finding money inside a couch.
Oh yeah.
I never
Or
get that.
buying a house and like finding money tucked away somewhere. By the way, for those of you listening, we are putting this on YouTube because we're recording these sessions. So I have the website up right now of the statue. Look at it. She's like taking it home in the.
Yeah. Did you see the one where she got it seat belted in?
Yeah. Can you see that? I shared my screen.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've seen that one.
Stop
sharing. But you see what the bust looks like. I mean, it's a marble bust. I mean,
yeah.
They said it weighs like 52 pounds. So even if she had to pay for it by the pound, she still got a better deal because she only paid $35 for it.
Right.
So, I mean,
what was it? Was it marble? You said
marble, made out of marble. So, I mean, it's pretty heavy. I mean, it looks like it's in excellent shape. I mean, it's not like it's all beat up or missing anything.
How did it make it to a Goodwill?
No idea. No idea how it ended up there. I would assume it was probably a state thing or something, and someone just probably picked it up and then donated it and went, oh, what's this thing? But
That makes
I mean, that
sense.
was I thought that was kind of cool. I mean, because you always think when you go to those places, at least I do. When I'm looking at stuff, I'm thinking how much is stuff really worth.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, man, I wonder $5. No, that thing's gotta be worth more than $5. Or anything you got laying around the house, or anything you pick up somewhere at rummage sales or whatever. People are, you don't know where that stuff came from, first of all, or what it's worth. But I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. She paid $35. Like I said,
What
it
did
doesn't
she name
say.
him?
She named him Dennis from one of the characters from oh man, I can't remember what the show was. Oh, I don't remember the name of the show. I'm a
That's
bad
okay.
person for not remembering.
No, it's okay.
She named him Dennis, is what she
Nice.
named him. So, yeah, what the heck was the TV show? I want to say Parks and Recreation. No, it was one of those shows. What was
Like
it? What
Trailer
was
Park Boys?
no? What was the one with Chevy Chase and geez.
We have listeners right now that are screaming the answer.
Yeah.
And
I don't watch a lot of, I get stuck in watching the same thing on TV. I
Mhm.
know my brother Brian, he watched the show, whatever the show was. But anyway, that's irrelevant. She nicknamed him Dennis. That's what she called him. But
I'll
who,
tell you, when I
who he really
first,
is, they don't know. They're guessing. So
they're just guessing who he is.
they're
When
guessing who
we
it could be.
when we moved into this house, there was like some furniture that was left over when we bought this house last year. And there
Yeah.
was this table down in the basement. It was really pretty cool. And come to find out, it was like a very specific brand. I think it was like Croft something. I can't remember the name of the furniture. Anyway,
Yeah.
it ended up like being worth almost $2,000. And but I
Wow.
didn't have all the chairs. So we
Mm.
only had a couple of the chairs, and I still ended up selling the set for just under $1,000. So yeah, so it was, it was a nice find. I was like, hell yeah, this was just what they thought was junk that they were leaving behind, and thought we were getting screwed on having to clean it out, and then it made us almost $1,000. So
That's
okay,
crazy.
great find.
That's got to be the craziest thing ever.
I loved it. So then, needless to
That's
say,
lucky, man. I never have that kind of luck. I mean, come on.
needless to say, I have still, but we've been in this house just a little over a year, and I still I'm trying to look in every nook and cranny that I can think of. Like, is money hidden here? Is there anything valuable? We did find like a $2 bill underneath this stuff in the bottom of one of these drawers. Like, there's built-in closets here with the drawers in the bottom.
Mhm.
So, but that's it. So I'm still, and hopefully I don't find anything like buried hexing the house either. So, I'm on the lookout for everything.
I don't find any bones or anything.
Right.
Sorry.
Sorry.
That'll be a whole nother story. Finding any bones or
No,
anything.
that'll be our next episode. No.
I hope not. I hope that's not our next episode. If I'm missing and I'm not here and that's the next episode, then be concerned.
Buried at Gina's house.
Yeah, well.
So,
all right, another one I
us?
found I thought was funny, and I think it's relatable to pretty much anybody can relate to this. Maybe you heard about this guy. I think I heard about it a couple days ago. Actually, it's dated from the 23rd of April, so last month. But I think I remember hearing about it on the radio or something like that, and I didn't think nothing of it at the time. But woman rescued after falling in toilet while trying to retrieve phone at top of Mount Walker in Washington State.
Why are you assuming this is relatable to me?
I didn't say
Has
relatable
told you
either.
anything?
No. I'm just saying. I think people can relate to worrying about dropping stuff in the toilet. And I thought that was kind of funny. It says the woman was left feeling flushed.
Sing.
She was strongly encouraged to seek medical attention due to being exposed to human waste.
So she fell in how?
It was like a park, like a picture, like you're at a not quite like a porta potty thing, but it was in a natural, like I said, it was in Mount Walker, Washington State. So it was a state park forest. So
Oh, like the bathrooms that
Yeah,
like they
yeah,
look like regular bathrooms, but there's still like a hole in the
yes,
ground. It's not like
correct.
plumbing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of a more or less a glorified porta
Okay.
potty is what it
Okay.
is, but it's not like a regular bathroom that you would picture when
Right.
you go to the shopping mall or something
Yeah.
like that. Um, the woman had to be rescued by firefighters after falling in when she accidentally dropped her phone in. She was not named, thank God. They did not tell it, they did not say her name. It happened near a car park in Mount Walker. Says that it was a non-flushing toilet constructed with a vault or sealed container that is buried deep down in the ground. So like you've probably come across one of those before.
Yes, on our mini
Like you
hiking
were saying, one
adventures.
with a hole in the ground. So like I said, it's a glorified porta potty. When you don't have a porta potty, they kind of make one for you.
Yeah.
The Brinian Fire Department Chief Tim Manley said the woman, aged in her 40s, managed to take the toilet seat off herself and used the dog's lead to try to get the phone. When this didn't work, she tied herself to the toilet as she reached for it.
Stop it.
I'm telling you. So she's using this leash she's trying to get in there at it. She can't. So when she can't do that, she ties herself to the toilet, trying to reach for it. But this is how she fell in. So
Oh
as
my
she tied it around,
God.
I don't know, doesn't say where she tied it around her leg, whatever, tied it to the corner of the outhouse or whatever, and then tried to lean in deeper. Like if you had somebody holding your leg and you're going to try to get something, I wouldn't have done that.
Look,
And
I mean,
she probably shouldn't have done it either because she fell in head first. So not only did she fall in, she fell in head first.
Mm-mm.
And she was in there for about 10 to 15 minutes on her own trying to get out. She then called 911 after being reunited with her phone down in the toilet.
Oh
So
my
after
God.
she found her phone, then she used it to call 911 because she was stuck in the toilet.
Did she have like a new waterproof phone or something? Like, or did she have a bag of rice on her that
I
she
don't
dried it
know.
out first? Like,
Doesn't
first of
say,
all,
but I know where you're going with that. I mean, I don't know how the phone worked, but I mean, she might have had an OtterBox on there.
that's true.
OtterBox or
Yeah,
whatever.
that's
What's the
true.
other one? Forget what the other one is, but
No, I
yeah,
know I know what you're talking about. Okay, but
life proof
the
or
thing
whatever.
is unless I can see, this is the only time I would consider doing like think about retrieving my phone out of a hole filled with other people's things like excrement. Is if I could see the phone, like maybe laying on top of a pile of toilet paper that had just been thrown down there. Like maybe, especially if it's in an OtterBox, like clean it. But if it's like, how many feet down was it?
It didn't say how many
Oh,
feet.
so
Didn't say how
okay,
many feet down. Just that she fell in
enough she
head
had to
first. So I
freaking
mean, you
tie
got.
herself.
I mean, I haven't seen one of those. Have you seen one? You said
Yeah.
you did.
So when
And
we
how
like,
how deep are the holes usually? Are they pretty deep?
I didn't really like, I can't really tell. I mean, I would think at least 15 to 30 feet because you got to think like,
Really? Well, she could have fell in that far
I don't
then.
know. I could be wrong. I might be lying. If somebody out there knows, but
I mean, it
maybe
says
15.
it's buried deep down in the ground. So I mean,
Yeah,
deep
I
down
would
in the
think at
ground's got to
least
be at least
15 feet
uh,
because you
it's
got to
not
think
2 or 3 feet. 2 or 3 feet.
right. Because if
It
you
would
have a
say
lot of
that.
people visiting that park, you have to have enough room for this stuff to like drop in the hole and then like be absorbed by the earth or whatever it's doing.
Yeah,
I
however
don't
that
know
works.
what the
Yeah,
system is like, but
it's
all
a
I'm saying
vault. Well, let's look up a vault toilet once.
is,
A
okay,
vault
let's see.
toilet, and let's see what it looks like.
I'm Googling it right now. Vault toilet, and then I'll
Vault
share my,
toilet.
okay. All right, and then I'm going to open up a separate search that's going to say how deep are vault toilets in parks. Okay. So what? A vault toilet generally has a 3-foot deep concrete vault buried beneath the floor. Oh, so it's a concrete vault. It's accessible from the outside, which is why vehicle access is so important. Vault toilets are housed in permanent structures. They do not flush, nor do they utilize water. They are also referred to as pit toilets due to the underground tank that holds the waste until a truck comes to pump it out and transports it to a water treatment facility. Okay, so this is different than what I'm even thinking, where it's just like dropping in the ground.
Yeah, I'm
Apparently,
thinking
it's
there's
just
like a plastic
cement.
toilet or something over the top of the hole.
Okay, so I'm
And
gonna share my
because
screen.
it did say that she removed the toilet seat.
Okay.
So it must have had a toilet with a seat on it somehow.
Okay, I'm gonna
And
share my screen
so
with
she was,
you.
I bet you she must have been in waist deep. I mean, I could picture her legs sticking out of the top of the toilet and all you see are legs.
Here's vault toilets. This is like probably what you see at the parks. I'm
Right.
not sure if you can see my mouse,
I
but
see you.
um
You see the one to the left of it
oh
with the
look
white
here.
toilet?
This might be, what'd you say? This?
See how it's got like the little white plastic like motorhome
Yeah.
toilet thing looking?
Mhm. Yeah.
I picture that being inside that brown building right there. And
It's
then she
probably what
take
it
the
is.
top off. It's not like the one there where the guy's squatting over the hole. It's not that one.
Well, I mean, this is what we like when we were hiking out west. This is what we saw. It was a lot of like just it looked like a regular toilet, but
Right.
there
Yeah.
was there was no plumbing.
Yes.
It doesn't smell super pleasant, but
That not. So anyway, she's in there probably stuck in there with her up to the waist. And I don't know, man. There's too many things about that just
not
I think
happening
are
there.
relatable to people afraid of dropping things in the toilet, keys, whatever.
I'm afraid of snakes,
But at the
like
same time,
biting my ass when I'm sitting on these toilets. So I
that
have a real
that
hard time using
I'd be
them.
well, I'd be worried about that too. Because who
Okay,
knows what?
so did she go to the hospital?
Yes,
Okay, was
they
she
hosed
okay?
her down with the fire hose.
Oh,
Well, she called the fire department, so they hosed her down, and then they told her she
poor
needs to go
woman.
to get it because of being exposed to human waste. So
I just want to know why. I want to know why.
the fire department, Mr. Manley, that I quoted before, just Mr. Manley. I thought he had a Tim Manley, fire chief Tim Manley. He's quoted at the bottom saying, "I've been doing this for 40 years, and that was a first." So I guess that's a good thing. I guess it's a good thing that it's never happened before, but
I guess people are people are changing how
well,
they approach things. You know what? Good for her for not wanting to waste a good cell phone. That's how I am going to pull the silver lining out of this and say good for her.
I wish it said what kind of phone she had, but it doesn't say.
I mean, if it's the new iPhone, you got to go dive in because that shit's expensive.
They're all expensive, but yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, think about it. She probably was thinking to herself, well, now what do I do? I'm stuck and there's my phone.
Oh
The only
yeah,
way I
like
can-
what if an
The
emergency
only way I
happened?
can
I
call
guess
for
if I had
help.
to wade through shit or,
No,
you know,
the only way I can call for help is reach for that phone.
okay, then maybe it's
Or
fair.
maybe that snake's gonna bite me, so I better get the phone.
No. Mm-mm. Well, hey, this is a
know.
good episode, everybody. So we'll post the links to well, first of all, we'll get this up and posted, and we will post the links to all the news articles that we had quoted and or got our research from today. We'll post that on our Facebook page in the comment section underneath the link to our feed in Spotify. And we'll also post it in the description of our YouTube version of this podcast. So thanks everybody for joining us. Good job.
And go visit our Facebook page. Don't forget to go to the Facebook page and
The Realm.
put any comments on there.
Yeah, we're definitely we have a great lineup, you know, for what things we want to bring to you guys, but we want to hear from you. Who knows, maybe we want to interview you. So stop by our Facebook page or send us an email at connectedrealm@gmail.com. So thanks everybody.
All right.
Good night.
Peace out.
Ciao.
Ciao.